everybody, this is Caitlin here, aka Scribble Sketch, and welcome to a new video for you guys in the year 2019. I'm still getting used to saying 2019, like I'm still really tempted to say 2018, and I know it's 2019. I'm still not over that yet. Give me like another couple, like 3 months or so, and I'll get over and I'll be able to recognize it. But today we have a video where I'm going over another video game collection of mine. This one is a lot older than the last one that we did, like the very first one I did. I started off with the Nintendo Switch because it's one of the most recent consoles to have came out and one of my more recent collections I've started. But this one is actually a very old collection and it goes back quite a while. So this one is actually going to be my Nintendo Gamecube collection. And just to give you an idea of all of them, well, all the ones that I currently still have, this is it. Like, it's a lot bigger than obviously my Switch collection, and I've kept most of these mainly due to nostalgia and mainly due to the fact that GameCube games are actually pretty hard to find nowadays. So that's mainly the reason why I still have a lot of these, but I'll go through them. I'm gonna go through them, unlike last time where I kind of went through them in no particular order. These ones I'm going to go through from my favorite to my least favorite, and give you reasons and why I still have them and stuff. But fun fact, the Nintendo Gamecube was actually the first Nintendo home console that I ever owned. I'd owned a PS1, I'd never owned like a SNES or an N64 or anything like that. So the Gamecube was like my first proper Nintendo actual console, and I loved that Gamecube. I love it. I still have the Gamecube, although I don't actually have the cables and the wires. I just have the actual console sitting on kind of on display in my room. I mainly use my Nintendo Wii in order to play my Gamecube games and whatnot. It's just easier just to have like the one console plugged in to play 2 series of games, whatever, both my Wii and my Gamecube games. But yeah, literally I got the Gamecube for Christmas. I can't remember what year it was, but I remember I got it for Christmas, and the games that came with it were, at the time, which you'll see as part of my collection, was Pokemon Colosseum and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Those were the 2 games I got for Christmas, and I played that Gamecube, like, it got me through all the way through primary school. I was still playing it when I was in high school and everything, even when like all the people were like, oh, you should get a PS2 or you should get a PlayStation 3. Fun fact, I never actually owned a PS2 or a PS3. I missed a lot of consoles during that generation because I wasn't allowed to get a PS2 or a PS3 because apparently they were too expensive, so I wasn't allowed to get that for most of my kind of childhood growing up. I am still kind of tempted to like go back and maybe pick up like an old PS2 or maybe pick up a PS3 just so I can be able to play some older games that I am going to think about adding collection-wise afterwards. But anyway, so the Gamecube was like my jam back in the day. That was my console. I adored it to pieces. Now, there weren't that many like amazing games on the console, to be fair. When I was going through a list of games, whatever, because I'm still hunting for GameCube games nowadays because, you know, I still love the system, and it's amazing to find rare gems from the GameCube era. A lot of them I feel like was like stuff that was like movie or like tie-ins and everything. That happened a lot with the Nintendo Wii as well. A lot of games were just like kind of cheap, easy games to make that were like movie tie-ins in order to try and like shovel out a bit more money. You don't see that too much nowadays. I feel like with the current generation of consoles, you don't get too much movie tie-in games nowadays. That seemed to be an era of for like the GameCube, the Wii, the Xbox, and PS2 pretty much. I think the PS3 had a little bit of it. But yeah, there wasn't like a lot of like amazing games. I feel like there's like a small collection of games that were just brilliant and amazing. I don't know whether or not they're in my collection or whatnot, but these are like mainly the ones that I love in particular. So now I'm going to go through the games and go through them with you and just tell you some things about them, any interesting stories and everything. This video hopefully won't be as long as the other one. I'm going to try and keep it a little bit shorter. I say that this video is probably going to be longer now that I think of it because the collection is a lot bigger. But yeah, let's start off with the first couple of games. So starting off this list here, we have Ty the Tasmanian Tiger and Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2 Bush Rescue. Fun fact about both these games, I have technically bought each of these games twice. Now, I first found out about Ty the Tasmanian Tiger because my friend had it on PS2 and we played it over at his house, and I loved the game. Like, back in the day, like, I loved like this kind of cute art style, you know, with a kind of anthropomorphized animal, like platforming. It was my jam. And he told me that it was also available on GameCube because obviously I went around to his place in order to play PS2 games because I didn't have a PS2, and he told me it's also available on GameCube, so I hunted this down like the plague in order to find it. I found it, I loved it, and then I was like, wait, there's a sequel? I want the sequel. Is it available on GameCube? it was available on GameCube, this was also a pain to find. Like I feel like GameCube games weren't very well stocked, especially in the UK. Like you could barely find anything. Like even like in the heyday of the GameCube, you could barely find any kind of GameCube games whatsoever. So finding these games was tough. And then I had the heartache moment of when I found out, I think it was when we were moving house, my mum had like grabbed like random GameCube games that I owned and given them away to my cousin. Be like, oh, he has a GameCube now and he wants some games. You don't play these, do you? And I was like, yes, I do. And among them was my Tyler's Main Tiger and Tyler's Main Tiger 2. I was heartbroken because I still love these games. Like these games, like they're available on Steam now. If you've never played this series, I highly recommend you play it on Steam. It maybe hasn't aged as well as like some other games on the GameCube and everything like that, but I still love it. I have such a huge nostalgia factor for these two games. So I actually ended up finding them again. I believe I found this one at, it was MCM at one point, or was it this one that was MCM? I feel like there was some kind of convention. I found them at like a table that had retro games, and I snapped them up. I was like, I gotta get them again, I gotta get them back in my collection. So these are the only games that I've technically owned twice, because the first time the games were given away, not with my permission, and the second time I managed to find them again and bought them. So yeah, these are like my two favorites, and literally I played these 4 hours on end. I think specifically I played the second game the most because I had so much fun just running around the overworld and stuff, exploring, collecting stuff and everything, and it was just a great time. It was like one of the main things I did to unwind after school would be just to bang this on. I had like a friend's DVD on a portable DVD player in the background, like for some background noise while I played. And that was my jam. So I still love these games, and I'm highly tempted to buy them again on Steam, so I can maybe do playthroughs of these games for the channel, whatever, on Steam or whatever. So if you'd like to see that, they are ports, by the way, so this might not be like the exact quality and everything like that from the original kind of run, but I would love to play those games again. So first up for my first pick would have to be both these Thai games. Next up on this list would have to be Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. Now this is the game that got me into Harvest Moon as a series, and this is the one that's kind of like sucked me in, and it is still to my day my very favourite Harvest Moon. There hasn't been a Harvest Moon since this one that has really captured like the attention to detail and just the more pure enjoyment that I got. Like I've played other Harvest Moon games. I played Magical Melody, I've played Tree of Tranquility, I've played the ones on DS and the 3DS, but none of them have ever captured what I love so much about this game. This is probably the simplest out of all the games thus far, except for like the really old N64 ones and everything like that. But this one is probably the simplest. Some may say it's the most boring because some people think that, oh, it's maybe not the most interesting because there's not like a major story going on or anything like that. You know, there's not as many characters, you know, there's not much to do after you've completed your farm here and everything. But for me, this was like perfect. This was like next to the Thai games, this game in particular, if I stutter over my words there, my apologies. This game in particular was a huge favourite of mine. I could just put this on, chill out for an hour or two, and I'd just be absolutely relaxed. Fun fact, I would used to play this for like maybe half an hour to an hour before I went to bed, mainly to try and like get me into a chilled out mood to help me go to sleep, which sounds really weird, I know, because normally you would think, oh, video games want you to stay up longer and everything to play, but I would like literally play this to help me go to sleep because it was so calm and relaxing, and like it just de-stressed me to the point where I was like so chill after I finished playing it. I was like, yeah, I'm really chill now. I could go to sleep because I am nice and chill and relaxed, and I'm in the frame of mind to just zone out. So that was mainly one of the reasons why I love this game. To this day, I haven't found a Harvest Moon game I've loved as much as this one. Obviously, after the huge debacle and whatnot with the rights to the name of Harvest Moon, the name is kind of a little bit tarnished. Like if you've seen any recent Harvest Moon games, well, Harvest Moon, ones with the title Harvest Moon, but they're not really Harvest Moon games, you can see it's kind of going downhill and whatnot. So if you are still interested in Harvest Moon games, I would look at more of the Story of Seasons side of the kind of game or whatever, like, because those ones are more closer to the true kind of like what the idea of Harvest Moon is all about. But this one is still a really good one. If you like a nice, chill, simple game, this is definitely one to pick up if you haven't played it already. Next on this list is Digimon Rumble Arena 2. Now, fun fact about this game, a lot of people think that it's pretty much a Smash clone, which I guess in a way you could say it is a little bit like that, because obviously it's a Rumble Arena kind of game, it's like a beat 'em up kind of fighter game, very similar to Smash. You know, there's power-ups, there's like ultimate attacks, stuff like that. I actually picked up this game from a friend of mine from high school. He was looking to get rid of most of his GameCube collection. He didn't have like a big one, but he knew that I still had a GameCube, and I adored the GameCube a lot. So he asked me if I was interested in any of the games that he owned, and as soon as I saw Digimon, I was interested because I am still in love with Digimon to this day, and then back then I was still a huge Digimon fan, so he knew that I was really interested in this, and I picked it up from him. And yeah, I just adore this game a lot. It's like, it's different from Smash, different enough that I think it's an enjoyable game without being too much of a clone. But yeah, I definitely enjoy this game a lot. Sorry for the small little jump cut there. But yeah, this is a game that if you've never kind of played like a Smash clone-like game, or you've like played them and you think, oh, this is literally just Smash but with like a different skin on it, maybe try this one because it is like different enough where it's enjoyable, and it's still pretty fun. Apparently there was another game, there's a Rumble Arena 1, and that was on the PlayStation 1, which I managed to pick up at a gaming market, but because I don't actually have a PS1 yet, I still need to pick one up again because I don't own my original one. I've yet to try it out, so I don't really know how well the first one plays. I just know that I've played this one a lot. But this is definitely a very fun game, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. Now we get into some of the really old games here for the GameCube. The one that started it all, pretty much, Pokemon Colosseum. Now I did also originally own Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, but since like ages ago, I traded that one in. I didn't enjoy that one as much as I enjoyed this one. I'm not too sure why, because you know your partner Pokemon is Eevee, and you would think that with my love for Eevee, I would love that game because you know your partner is Eevee. I don't know, it might have just been like the shift in art style, the changing protagonist. Like, I felt like quite attached to this protagonist because, you know, he started from humble beginnings of being a bad guy, essentially, and then he moved over to be more like an anti kind of hero, where he wasn't really doing this to save the world, he was doing this for his own agenda and stuff like that, even if you never really got that from, because he didn't talk or whatever. But I felt like this one had a more fleshed out kind of story, and it felt like a little bit darker, obviously the concept of shadow Pokemon and everything. I feel like the second game like was maybe a little bit too goofy and stuff, but I still love this game, and obviously this came out around the time of the the early GameCube era. I'm pretty sure this was one of the launch games for it as well. And as you can see here, it says not to be sold separately, because when I originally bought this, or not me bought it, but when I bought it for Christmas, it was part of a bundle, so you couldn't really separate it at all. I also think this came with the Pokemon box, or whatever, the thing that you could use to store Pokemon from Ruby and Sapphire. I don't have that as well anymore because I didn't really use it. Or do I actually still have it? Let me have a look. Actually, I tell a lie. I do have it. It's inside this disc, or rather inside this box. So I do have it. It just doesn't have its own box because apparently it comes with this. But I still have it apparently. But I never really used it. I didn't really see the point in it, to be honest, because I was like, I want to keep all my Pokemon on the game before I got into the mindset of trading them up into newer generations of games. But yeah, I think this still kind of holds up a little bit. I guess it depends on how you feel about console versions of like the Pokemon games. People argued that the handhelds were always better, but now we have the Switch, which is technically a handheld and a console, so I guess we can't make that argument anymore. But yeah, I definitely still enjoyed Pokemon Colosseum. Okay guys, now we get into some of the massive collection of Sonic games that I still own to this day. I'm not quite sure why I still own them, because I'm not as big as a Sonic fan as I used to be. And pretty much during the GameCube era was when I hit my peak of being a Sonic fan, and then when it got to the Wii and like other generations, it was just like I kind of fell out of interest a little bit with it. I never really enjoyed too many of the Wii games or whatever that came for this, that came for Sonic games and everything. I didn't like what was it, like Sonic Unleashed, didn't like that. I didn't like Secret Rings. I kind of liked Black Knight, but I didn't like the controls and all that much. So I mainly like the music. But yeah, the first one I got obviously was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which came with my gift for Christmas with Pokemon Colosseum. I have to say, probably out of all the ones that came out on GameCube, this one was probably my favourite, which is kind of funny considering how it's maybe not aged as well, but I adored it a lot. I do remember though, I got stuck on some of the later levels, like kind of the end level in the last story, so I got to the point where I had to ask a friend to complete the levels for me because I wanted to see how the game ended. And back then you couldn't really you couldn't just Google up like how does the game end or whatever, like you couldn't see the cutscenes and stuff like that. You know, this was like back in the baby days where you actually had to complete the games if you wanted to see the end, and I just couldn't do it, so I just asked my friend if he could complete it for me so I could just watch the cutscenes and stuff. But yeah, my main interest really with this was the kind of multiplayer aspect with the kart racing, with the Chow racing and stuff like that, like the treasure hunting. I like that aspect of it, and the Chow Garden was probably my favourite one. I hope maybe if they do come back to form with Sonic, maybe it'll pull me back in. Thus far, I haven't played a Sonic game since, oh gosh, when was the last Sonic game I played? I think the last Sonic game I played was actually Sonic Colors, I think, and that I didn't even own that very long, and I didn't enjoy it all too much. But yeah, this was like probably my highlight for Sonic games, to be fair, even though this is a very, very old. And now we get into a heaping mess of stuff, and I'm not quite sure why I own any of these games, why I still own any of these games, and why I've not traded in any of these games, I guess I still hold on to them for the nostalgic factor. So I'm going to go breezing through these ones. I'm not going to talk about them a lot. Next up we have the Sonic Mega Collection. You can tell that I didn't really care too much for this game because the sticker is still on this game from, this is how old this game is, by the way, back when Game was still Game Station. Do you remember, anyone in the UK remember Game Station? I do, because my membership card for Game is still the one for Game Station, because they merged and changed, well, they changed to Game Station no longer exists. This is how old this game is. I still have the 2 for £20 sticker that I got for this, essentially, so that's pretty funny. I don't even think I've ever played this. Is the game even still in it? Yes, it is still in it, thankfully. It's still there, but I don't think I've ever actually played this. I think I picked this up because it was part of a deal, and I was buying something else. And yeah, it was pretty cheap, so that's probably the reason why I have it. And then next up, another kind of game that was just like, did people actually like it? I don't know. The physics and stuff were really weird in this game. I mainly picked this up because, hey, I enjoyed Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Maybe I'll like Sonic Heroes. And I kind of didn't really. I mean, it got really repetitive, you know, the same stages, like slightly different teams and whatnot. I got very bored very quickly. I'm not quite sure still even why I own it, but I guess I'm really mainly still owning it for the fact that it's part of my GameCube collection, and I like to have little collections, even if it's like games that I don't really play anymore. But it did give me like fond memories of trying to play this game, but yeah, that's mainly the reason why I still have this one. And now we're getting into the really terrible territory here, where we have Sonic Riders. Now, I didn't really hate this as much at the time. I mainly hated it towards like the end of the lifespan of me playing this, because I could not, for the life of me, complete the last missions in the story mode, and I basically didn't see the ending of this game until like years later, until like it randomly showed up on like a playlist of stuff I was watching, and yeah, I finally figured out how this game ended, because I literally could not complete the last few races for the story mode, and I just never knew how this ended. I just gave up, I got frustrated and whatnot. I think the only real reason I wanted it was because of the racing aspect, and I quite liked the idea of hoverboards. I had like a weird craze where like I was really obsessed with like the concept of hoverboards for some reason. Like I would like constantly draw characters and whatnot who had hoverboards and things. But yeah, that was the main reason I had this game. I never completed it, obviously. I like the multiplayer aspect of racing, from not in the main story, but like the kind of the 2-player or the 4-player that you did. I used to have like friends who came around where I didn't have Mario Kart, I had Sonic Riders, so that's what we played for our racing games. Maybe I wasn't as cool as I thought I was if I thought this was the concept of a racing game, but who knows? It's, you know, it's there, it's part of the collection, it's here, I guess. And here we have a really big steaming pile of garbage. This game, I don't even know why I bought this game. Like, to be fair, it was a GameCube game, and at the time I was like, I really want more GameCube games as part of my collection. I want to play this, let's give it a try. My gosh, this game is terrible. I don't know why I still own it, I don't know why it's here, I don't know why this game was ever made. This game is pretty much universally panned by a lot of people. I can't think of anyone who actually likes this game. Maybe people who really like Shadow the Hedgehog as a character. I, for one, don't like this game. I think the only reason I still own it is so it's part of my collection, and you know, it's like a piece of history here. It's a relic, you know, it's a GameCube game. It is old, that's why I still have it, I guess. But not got many fond memories of this one in particular. And I'm going to do these two games together because they are like the bottom of the barrel games where I actually barely played these ones. I don't even think I got past like the tutorials for both these games. It would have to be Mega Man, what's this one called? Network Transmission, and this one is called Vex. Why do I own these games? Well, for one, they were super dirt cheap. I think I found this one for like £5, and then this one was £2. And at the time I was like, oh my god, more GameCube games, I'm going to pick these up, they're super cheap. I think the main reason I picked this up because this is really the only Mega Man game I have ever played. You could kill me for that, you can slaughter me for that, but I was never really interested in Mega Man. Like, I like him in Smash and stuff. I've never been interested in playing any Mega Man games. The only reason why I was interested in picking this up and playing it is because I liked the Mega Man NT Warrior anime series, or cartoon series, however you want to call it. That was the only kind of Mega Man that I was exposed to. I liked the TV series of this cartoon, so this was the main reason why I picked this up. I don't even think I got past the tutorial because at the time I had misplaced my GameCube like memory card or whatever, so I couldn't save the game, so I never got past the tutorial because I was just like, oh, I give up, I can't find my game card or whatever. So that's the main reason why I own this. And then this one, I don't know about this one. This one, I think I tried to play the tutorial, but for some reason either it was something in the game or maybe something I wasn't understanding. It wasn't clearly telling me how to play, and I couldn't get past the kind of like the intro tutorial section, and I just never bothered to try and learn afterward. I don't even know if this game came with a manual. Did it? It did come with a manual, apparently. I just never really learned how to play it. I think I ended up googling what happened in this game because I couldn't actually figure out how you were supposed to play it. And I still own it because it's just like one of those random ones where it's like, hey, here's another attempt at like a kind of anthro animal-like character mascot, and I guess it just died where, you know, this never got a sequel or anything like that, so I guess it wasn't that universally acclaimed or anything. So clearly not a lot of people were missing these games, because I never hear people talk about them or anything. But these are like the bottom of the barrel pretty much picks that I have in my collection right now for GameCube games. And that is it, guys. I have shown you the entirety of my GameCube collection. Let me hold it up again so I can show you guys. It's all kind of like jumbled up and messed up and everything, but that's all my GameCube games are right there. Obviously, I did have a lot more growing up and stuff, but as time went on, I figured out which ones I no longer really wanted to keep in my collection, and I like traded them in, I sold them, I got rid of them, and stuff like that. Like, I can remember like owning like games like Halo Darkness. I think I owned like a couple of random like shovelware games, whatever, like random ones that really weren't that fun or weren't that good, so I traded them in. But I am obviously still on the hunt for GameCube games that I remember like from the time, but I never managed to find or whatever. I know that obviously the fated Fire Emblem, is it Path of Radiance or Path to Dawn? I can't remember which Fire Emblem it is that's on the GameCube. The one that's really expensive. Every time I go to like a convention where there's some kind of gaming table or retro gaming place, whatever, I always see that game. It's like £150 or £115 or something like that. And I always think to myself, one day I will own that game. I don't know when, I don't know how. Hopefully I'll maybe find it cheap one day. I don't think I will because it's always expensive. But yeah, I'm always still on the hunt for like GameCube games that I really want to pick up. I've been kind of like going on eBay and stuff recently and like looking to try and see if I can get any cheap deals, because I still want to expand my collection and everything. I think it'd be really good to add a little bit more to this collection because it's quite a nostalgic console for me. But let me know, guys, what was your favorite game on the GameCube? Did you ever actually own a GameCube? Was it maybe not one of the ones you had? Maybe you were more of a PS2, PS3 kind of person in that kind of generation of consoles. Me personally, I love the GameCube. I love the GameCube so much. But let me know if there was any picks in my collection that you owned as well. I'd love to hear when people say they have similar tastes to me, and if they maybe, you know, did you love Ty as much as I did? I love this game so much. I love this game so much. You have no idea. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content from me, Scribble Sketch, and I will see all of you guys later. This video was made possible thanks to patrons such as Craig McCutcheon and Neko-Senpai.